everyone. Welcome to Alpha English Podcast, the place where learning English becomes simple, fun, and powerful.
If you want to speak English with confidence, understand real conversations, and improve faster than ever, you're in the right place.
Every episode, we break down English in the easiest way possible.
So get ready to learn, grow, and level up your English.
Let's start the episode. Okay, so I actually have to tell you something before we even start recording properly.
Go on.
I went for a run this morning, first one in like 3 weeks, and halfway through, I just stopped and walked the rest of the way.
Honestly, same. I try to go to the gym 3 times a week, and last week I went once.
Wait, you just said, I try to go. Do you hear that?
Said what? I tried to go to the gym?
Exactly that. You didn't even notice you said it. That little phrase, I try to, that's actually one of the most useful pieces of English for talking about habits, and you just used it completely naturally, without thinking.
Huh. I genuinely didn't even realize. I just said it.
And that is exactly what we're talking about today. So today we are talking about how to talk about healthy habits in English, the real, natural way people actually say it, not the textbook way.
Which honestly matters a lot because healthy habits is one of those topics everyone talks about in real life, at work, with friends, in small talk, even on a first date sometimes.
Right. It comes up constantly. Do you work out? Are you eating better? I'm trying to quit sugar. These conversations happen every single day, and a lot of learners freeze up because they only know the grammar book version.
So by the end of this episode, you'll have real phrases you can use tomorrow, not just theory.
And quickly, if you're enjoying the podcast so far, hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps more learners find us. Okay, Luke, let's actually get into it.
Let's do it. So I think the first thing to separate is there's a difference between talking about a habit you already have and a habit you're trying to build.
Yes, huge difference. For a habit you already do regularly, the easiest structure is I usually or I tend to.
Give me an example.
I usually drink a big glass of water first thing in the morning. Or I tend to skip breakfast, which I know is bad.
Right, and tend to is nice because it sounds a little softer, almost like you're admitting something without being too hard on yourself.
Exactly. Now, here's a common mistake. A lot of learners say, I have habit to drink water, or I have the habit of, way too formally in casual conversation. Native speakers almost never say, I have a habit of, out loud. It sounds like something from an essay.
It really does. If someone said that to me at a coffee shop, I'd think they were reading from a textbook.
So, quick summary. For habits you already do, I usually, I tend to, or just simple present tense, like I drink a lot of water or I don't eat much meat.
Okay, second category. Habits you're trying to build but haven't fully got yet.
This is where I'm trying to comes back, like you said earlier without even noticing. Also, I've been meaning to and I've started.
What's the difference between those three, though?
Good question. I'm trying to means you're actively doing it now, maybe struggling a bit. I've been meaning to means you keep planning it but haven't really started. It's a bit guilty, a bit funny. And I've started means you genuinely began, even if it's small.
So, like, I've been meaning to meditate for actual months now, but I always forget.
Perfect example. And that's such an honest, relatable sentence. Everyone has that one habit they've been meaning to start for a year.
Mine is stretching. I've been meaning to stretch every morning since basically 2019.
See, that's exactly the natural, honest tone we want. Not a perfect grammar sentence, a real confession. Actually, can I pause here for a second? Because I want to say something to whoever's listening right now.
Go for it.
I think about the learners who are listening to this while doing dishes or on a bus, quietly repeating a sentence under their breath because they're scared they'll say it wrong in front of someone. And I want you to know that quiet repeating, that's not you being slow. That's your brain building a path that will one day just open on its own, the way Luke's sentence opened earlier without him even planning it.
That's a really nice way to put it.
It's true, though. Okay, let's keep going.
Third category then, talking about habits you're trying to stop or cut down on, because healthy habits isn't only about starting new things, it's also about giving things up.
Right, and here the natural phrases are I've cut down on, I've cut back on, and I'm cutting out.
What's the difference?
Cut down on and cut back on mean reducing something. You still do it, just less. I've cut down on coffee. I only have 1 cup now instead of 4. Cutting out means stopping completely. I'm cutting out sugar this month.
And a common mistake here is learners say, I stopped to eat sugar, which actually means something totally different in English. It sounds like you stopped an activity in order to eat sugar.
Oh, that's such a classic trap. I stopped to smoke versus I stopped smoking. Completely opposite meanings.
Actually, funny story, this reminds me, I once told a student, get out the bus, instead of get off the bus, completely confidently, like it was totally normal. They just looked at me like I'd lost my mind.
Wait, you're a native speaker and you still say things wrong sometimes?
Constantly. I once said I couldn't care less instead of I couldn't care less, and a student very politely corrected me. Humbling moment.
See, that's actually reassuring for learners. Even native speakers slip up, so don't be so hard on yourselves.
Quick summary then. For reducing something, cut down on, cut back on. For stopping completely, cut out or give up. I've given up soda completely.
Now let's talk casual versus formal, because this changes a lot depending on who you're talking to.
Right, because you wouldn't talk to your doctor the same way you'd talk to a friend.
Exactly. Casually, with a friend, you might say, I'm trying to eat cleaner, or I've been really good this week, or I've been so bad with sleep lately. Very relaxed, very vague on purpose.
Whereas formally, like with a doctor or in a health survey, you'd say something like, I've been reducing my sugar intake, or I maintain a regular exercise routine, or I follow a balanced diet.
Right. Formal English likes specific nouns, routine, intake, diet, while casual English likes verbs and feelings. I've been good. I slipped up. I fell off the wagon.
Oh, fell off the wagon. That's a great one to explain. A lot of learners hear that and have no idea what it means.
It means you were doing well with a habit and then you stopped, usually by accident or under stress. I was doing so well with the gym, but then work got busy and I completely fell off the wagon.
It's such a visual phrase, too, like literally falling off something moving.
Exactly. And using idioms like that naturally is what makes you sound less like a textbook and more like an actual person.
Let's give a few more real conversation examples because I think hearing full exchanges helps more than isolated phrases.
Okay, I'll be the person asking, you answer naturally. Ready?
Ready?
So, are you doing anything healthy these days?
Honestly, kind of. I've cut down on coffee and I've been trying to get to bed earlier. It's a work in progress.
A work in progress. Perfect. Very natural way to say, I'm not perfect at this yet, but I'm working on it.
Right, and it takes the pressure off. You're not claiming to be perfect, you're just being honest.
Love that. Okay, one more. What about talking about someone else's habits, like a friend?
You'd say things like, she's really into clean eating lately, or he's been super consistent with the gym this year, or they've completely given up drinking.
And really into is such a useful phrase generally, not just for health. She's really into yoga. He's really into running. It just means someone is genuinely enthusiastic about something. Actually, I want to pause here again, because I know for some learners, even just talking about health and habits brings up a bit of anxiety, like they're being judged for not being good enough yet in the habit or in the English.
That's a really fair point.
I think about the learner who's maybe embarrassed to say, I don't really exercise, out loud, worried it makes them sound lazy, in any language. And I want to say, the words themselves don't judge you. I'm trying to. I've been meaning to. I fell off the wagon. These phrases exist because every single person everywhere has a habit they're not proud of yet. You are not behind. You're just in the middle of the sentence.
You're just in the middle of the sentence. I really like that.
Thank you. Okay, let's do a final round of quick practical phrases before we wrap up.
Good idea. Let's do a rapid list. Starting a habit. I've started, I'm trying to, I've picked up, as in, I've picked up running this year.
Maintaining a habit. I tend to. I make sure I make sure I drink enough water every day.
Struggling with a habit. I keep forgetting to. I fall off the wagon. It's easier said than done.
Oh, easier said than done? Such a good one. I know I should sleep more, but it's easier said than done.
And stopping a bad habit. I've cut out, I've given up, I'm weaning myself off. Like, I'm weaning myself off sugar slowly.
Weaning myself off is such a nice, gentle way to describe gradually stopping something instead of just quitting suddenly.
Okay, I think that's a really solid toolkit for talking about healthy habits naturally.
Definitely. So let's recap quickly. We talked about existing habits with I usually and I tend to, building new habits with I'm trying to, I've been meaning to, and I've started, cutting down or stopping habits with cut down on, cut out, and given up, and casual versus formal ways of describing all of it, plus a few natural idioms like fell off the wagon and easier said than done.
And honestly, the biggest lesson today might just be the language you use for talking about habits doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be honest, the way we've been talking today.
And to whoever is listening to this on your own morning walk or your commute, or maybe lying in bed not wanting to get up yet, I want you to know something. The fact that you're here, listening, trying to build this skill piece by piece, that already is a healthy habit. Learning a language slowly, patiently, on purpose, that's no different than the run I stopped halfway through this morning. It still counts. Showing up halfway still counts.
That's a really lovely way to end this one.
If this episode helped, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who's also learning. It really does help more people find the podcast.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.
Take care and go easy on yourselves. Bye for now.